Hello, my name is Stephen Redman and welcome to another episode of Pastor's Library. This is the channel where we talk about everything to do with Christian theology books that may be on a reading list for your seminary course, your bachelor's or master's degree courses in theology or biblical studies, or simply something that has piqued your interest because you've seen it in someone else's house or on a bookshelf or on an internet advert. So today we're going to talk about a particular author's work and someone you might not have heard of, and I feel that you ought to have heard of. And if you like what we have to say, please give us a thumbs up, please subscribe and click on the bell, and that way you'll be amongst the first to know when we release another episode of Pastor's Library. Now, I did my master's degree in theology under this man that I'm going to talk to you about, and I found him to be a breath of fresh air. When I went back to do my master's later in life, 2010 I think it was, I was a little bit shocked by the level of academic work. It had been, 30 years since I'd been to university, and I think I had forgotten just how deep it was. Plus, I was for the first time working at master's level and realising that it was tough. And I had two lectures on the first day. One was by someone who I went up to ask him a question at the end, and I realised that he had been translating on the fly. When he'd read Acts chapter 2 to us, he had been reading it directly from the Greek New Testament and translating it as he was reading. And that scared the pants off me, that someone could be so competent that they could do that. And I hadn't even noticed that they weren't reading from an English Bible. And I was slightly put off. And then I went to hear this guy speak, and I thought, this guy is just like listening to a good preacher. He's really engaging, and I felt like I was being spoon-fed. But when I did his essays, not only were they just as academic, just as tough, and his marking was as tough, I realised that actually all that I needed was in his lecture notes. So I really do think very highly of this person. His name is David Petts. He's an English theologian, Oxford educated, for many years was principal of Batchelor Hall Bible College. And I have to say, not only is he a very, very clever man, but he has this enormous gift of being able to break the bread of life into small chunks. And I found him at every level to be super understandable. And let's be honest about it, someone who can write a book that's accessible, that you can really, really understand. Now that is not just a good academic, that's a great gift. So I want to talk to you briefly about David Petts. I think that when I went to Bible college, you had to do his course on the Holy Spirit. Not because you had to, it's just that if you didn't, you were missing out, big style. And he wrote this book, The Holy Spirit, an Introduction. Now, firstly, let me say, all of these books, you can buy them at the best possible price from him, which is David Petts, DavidPetts.org. You can buy them at the best price there. You may see them on Amazon, but you will probably find you're paying more. Now, David Petts wrote this book because besides being a card-carrying Pentecostal and a principal of a Pentecostal Bible college for many, many decades, this man really has a great way of explaining the Holy Spirit. And this book, which is 160 pages, is really an excellent way of understanding the third person of the Trinity, and you will engage with the Holy Spirit before Pentecost, the Holy Spirit in the teaching of Jesus, and the Holy Spirit since Pentecost, the baptism in the Holy Spirit, the fruits of the Holy Spirit, the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Everything is in here, and it's a dream. This is a book which you'll pick it up and you'll think, this just reads like a normal Christian paperback. It doesn't really read like an academic book, but it does have footnotes and it has an appendix. It has great, direct, clear instruction. That's a dream book to have. Now, because I did his master's course on the gifts of the Holy Spirit, and I did my essay for him on the gift of distinguishing between spirits, which I have to say was probably the thing I did at Bible college that I loved doing the most. This book is his set of lecture notes on the gifts of the Holy Spirit. It's 280 pages. Again, it's just like the last book. It's direct, it's clear, it's accessible. It's got plenty of footnotes. It's a very quotable book. But this deals with gifts to the church. So the gifts of pastor, teacher, evangelist, prophet, apostle. And it deals with the Holy Spirit gifts, the pneumaticon, the pneumatic gifts, tongues, interpretation, prophecy, knowledge, wisdom, distinguishing between spirits, faith, healing, and miracles. And if you wanted a go-to book for those issues, seriously, you can look all day and you won't find anything better than this. Bodybuilders by David Petts. It's a cracker. Now, I want to just deal with two books which are fairly recent by David Petts. The Voice of God, How He Speaks to Us Today. This amazed me. Again, it's David's way of just being very accessible, very straightforward, very clear. He doesn't say anything in a way that could be taken two ways. It's just very direct and clear. And this, I would suggest to you, is good reading for any Christian. And I entirely endorse this book. I really got a lot out of reading that. When you come together, this is God's plan for when people meet. This is about doing church together with 120 pages. Again, straight to the point, very clear. You will get a lot from this book. It starts with this question of how does God want to be worshipped and what should happen when the church meets together. A great book to delve into. You'd Better Believe It is sort of a book on basic Christian doctrine for believers. This has some questions at the end of each chapter. It has some reading list. It's a very, very good book for using in home groups or for just study yourself at home. I think it's great. I really do. I just can't really say enough about David Petts' work. It really is excellent. And if you go to his website, davidpetts.org, not only will you be able to buy these books, but also there's a massive range of MP3s that you can listen to him speaking. This book, Just a Taste of Heaven, this really was the set of notes we worked through for a module I did with him the following year on healing and the miraculous. And it really is, again, direct, straightforward, excellent, accessible. You can't really go wrong with this. A 300-page booklet. A booklet, I think, was a Freudian slip. It feels like a booklet because you just get through it so quickly. It really is an excellent book, but it is 300 pages and it has all the references you need. The only other books I've got by him are booklets. Signs from Heaven, which is Why I Believe by David Petts, talks about the supernatural as an everyday experience, and it's detailed by real life examples. And How to Live for Jesus. This is a great book. for a new Christian. It's ideal for people just coming to faith, and it will give you a framework for your life. All of these books and more are available from davidpetts.org. I do sound a bit like a fanboy here, don't I? And all I can say is it's because this man taught me an awful lot. And when I was panicking about carrying on with my master's degree, which I'm really glad I did, and I have continued to study personally at master's level ever since, this man gave me hope because I felt I really did understand him. And I would suggest to you, if you're looking for anything about the Holy Spirit, the gifts of the Spirit, any of these issues that I mentioned, try him out. It's really good. I think his website is priced in delivery in the UK. So if you're in the USA, you may have to just say what additional charges are there. But seriously, it's really good. I hope this has helped you. If it has, please give us a thumbs up. Please do everything you can to support the website by subscribing, by clicking the bell, and do send us messages. Leave comments in the wording below. That's really helpful. I do try to answer everyone in due course. So I hope that's helped you. If it has, please do that. And until next time, I'll say bye.